I stand for feminism in Mexico City. In Mexico, I think as women living in Mexico, we don't have the choice not to be feminist with all that's going on. And I also stand for sustainability.
Oh.
And trying. So I think that's about it.
Yes, so you're a student activist.
I try to be.
Ah, nice. I like that. I try to be. Yes, we all try to be. But you're actually doing it, so that's why I reached out, because I saw that you went to the seas of Mexico's National Human Rights Commission. And would you care to talk about the whole experience and then about your personal experience?
Yes, well, at first I started hearing about the seas and what was going on, and on many Instagram stories I started to see that they were gathering stuff to take and money for the women that were inside since they can't go out. And me and a friend got together and started gathering all types of things that they could need, like food, bedding stuff, and like blankets, also first aid things and hygiene products so we could take. So all of last week we were making this gather of the stuff so we could go on Saturday and take it. And we also picked up some hot food at a restaurant so the women inside could have at least a hot meal once. So on the way to the National Commission of Human Rights, we were very nervous actually. Like, we didn't know what to expect. We thought it was gonna be kind of disastrous, especially since Friday, the women of the state of Mexico tried to seize the National Human Rights Commission, and policemen forcefully took them out. So we were kind of nervous. We didn't really know what the situation was gonna be when we got there. And we were very surprised actually when we got there. The street was closed, but when we told the people who were kind of guarding the street that we were there to give stuff to the women, they let us in. And there was a parking lot right in front of the Human Rights Commissionary that was open, so we could park there and take all the stuff out of the car. We thought we were just gonna leave the stuff there and then go home. Mm-hmm. But one of the women that was one of the
protesters.
Protesters.
I think that's the name. Yeah.
Asked us, like, there was around 20 women outside, and one of them came out and asked us if we could stay for a while and like help them have people outside. She basically told us that because of the seas, they were being seen as the criminals, but us as civils weren't gonna be seen as criminals, and if the police came or anyone came, we could be there to protect them, like as a peaceful human barrier. Mm-hmm. So we stayed there for around 2 hours until we saw that more people came. And I really love these places. I usually have a lot of fun because we have a lot of chants now. So all the women outside, we were singing them all. Some were like keeping guard, seeing if there were police around, because the women inside sometimes go out to pick out stuff, and the policemen are basically hunting them down around the blocks nearby.
Yeah, and I saw there were military people. There was military there. Yeah.
Yes, right on the street where the commission is, there's no police, nothing, but all around there's police cars going around and stuff like that. Mm-hmm. So, but it felt like we were all singing outside. The women were really thankful about what we were taking them, and I was really surprised because not only were they, like, yes, sure, they were receiving all of these donations, and they were receiving a lot, but I also saw 2 older women come by at some point of the day, and the women inside are also giving food to those who need it most.
Mm-hmm.
Since they're receiving so much, they are also giving out to women in need who come by during the day. On the inside, we had the chance to talk with the protesters, and they were telling us they have lawyers inside, they have psychologists for whoever needs it, and the lawyers are also taking in like demands from women who are suffering from violence. On the outside, they are checking the cases, they are defending the women who cannot get a lawyer by themselves.
Okay, that's pretty cool. And I mean, while you were there, I imagine there was all sorts of like cheers and chants and anthems, and just like women supporting women, and maybe even probably there were men, maybe not, I'm not sure. But yeah, so I've been hearing that the song Sin Miedo of Vivir Quintana has been turned into some sort of anthem for the protesters. And it's been like a huge deal in this movement now. So my questions would be, well, yeah, please share a little bit about this and your opinions.
Well, the day I was there, we didn't get to sing the song Sin Miedo, but there's a lot of other chants, like smaller chants that are really catchy, so everyone can learn them really fast, and it's fun to be singing around all these women, and you all stand for the same things, and you're all there for the same reasons. So there's like a sorority feeling all around, which is really nice. And the first time I heard the song by Vivir Quintana was in March. I think the day before the Women's March. I went to the march with some friends, and the day before, they sent me like all the songs I should learn and all the little chants, so I could be a part of the singing while I was there. And the song was one of them. That was the first time I heard it. And I think I love the song because I think it's really beautiful, the way it's told. And it's really empowering to hear about it, and to, like, you feel like you're part of something way bigger. And even you feel like more support when you hear it.
Okay, so it makes you feel part of the movement, and it also makes you not feel alone, right?
Like, yes, basically, those are some of the feelings I get. I actually listen to the song on my alone time too, sometimes, and it really does make you feel empowered, and like it reminds you what the movement is about and why we are doing all of these.
Okay, I like that. It reminds you what the movement is about and what it stands for. Because, yeah, in the song you can hear the lyrics that say, "Without fear, we stand for our sisters, our mothers," and so on. I mean,
yes, and the lyrics are, in general, the lyrics are very strong. They say really strong things, but they also give you hope in some way.
They do, yes. So you do believe there is that our culture influences the way female protesters are fighting against patriarchy, like this song, for instance. I don't know.
Yes, I do think many people think that the mediums these women are taking, or how they are doing it, isn't the right way. They think they might say violence doesn't solve violence and stuff like that. But honestly, the problem of feminist sites in Mexico has been going on for a lot of time. Women have been raising their voices for a long time, asking for justice. They have been marching peacefully. Peaceful protests have gone on for years.
Yes.
And the people who are on the front lines of every single movement are the mothers of our mothers whose daughters were killed or whose sisters were disappeared. So I think they have they are angry. They are really angry. The government isn't doing anything to solve the cases or to help these people. So they're really angry and they don't feel like they had been heard. And finally, now that they're doing all these things, they are getting heard for the first time.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Also, I don't know if you saw the El Grito, the shout, and how, yes, how AMLO said, "Viva equality, viva human rights," while the women protesters were like demanding rights for their daughters and so on. What do you think about that?
Well, as you know, the movement started when two women walked into the Human Rights Commissionary and basically tied themselves to the chairs because no one was listening to them, and people started finding out about this, and some feminist collectives went there to help them, and they ended up seizing the commissionary. And on the 14th, actually, they organized an anti-grita, which was more than 300 women went, and they shouted different kind of "Viva", but "Vivan las mujeres", and
Viva Matria, kind of right?
Yeah.
Viva la Matria.
Viva Matria instead of Patria.
Yeah.
So, yes, they did their own thing.
Yes.
To celebrate.
Yes, and I believe now you were saying that they are being heard, and actually they are being heard, including this song.
Yes.
Vivir.
A ton of reforms have gone through thanks to these women and thanks to this movement.
Yes.
So to whomever says it's not the way it is and it's working, for the first time they're being heard.
I really like that. So, would you like to add anything else? I mean, we've covered a lot, but you can add anything you want to add.
I don't know, are there any more questions or anything?
Well, I wanna talk to you about how you are personally impacted by patriarchy. Have you ever been diminished because the sole reason of being woman?
Maybe not diminished, but walking around Mexico City as a woman alone is never a good experience. Like, maybe nothing physically happens to you, but you will get catcalled, and it's really uncomfortable. You know you're not safe like, you don't feel safe walking around the streets, not only at night, but also during the day. It just doesn't feel safe for us as women to go around.
Just going to the cafe near your house alone, you don't feel safe. And I don't know if that happens to, for example, my brother. I mean, it does happen to him, but it's not that much of a fear for him, maybe. Am I explaining myself?
Yes. Yes. Actually, well, when I worked with your brother, we were in parties, and we were
the ticket stand?
For parties. We were the ticket stand at parties, and before it was me alone, and I hated it when it was me alone because people, like, when guys came in drunk to buy their tickets, they weren't really respectful, or they were, like, kind of hitting on me so I wouldn't charge them and stuff like that, which was really uncomfortable. So until your brother started helping me out, the situation really got better.
Yeah, I didn't know that. That's actually so, like, mind-blowing. I don't know, just how a woman can't, well, how do I say this? That we want to do something and they just not diminish us. I don't.
Yeah, like they feel entitled that because I was there alone, they could just like hit on me and ask not to pay or be rude. So that was pretty bad.
Yes, and also I had one last question. When was the first time you started this activist way? Like how many years ago or months or?
It was not so long ago. I've always stood for human rights in general. Like, I've always tried not to discriminate anyone for any reasons at all, and small things like that. And until I think it was November last year, or around those times when the first real protest was, and the first time women graffiti the walls and were heard and made it to all the titles of the newspapers in Mexico. That's when I started and when I started seeing also videos of mothers sharing the stories of what had happened, or daughters sharing the stories of what happened to their mother, like you get angry when you see all these things and you see no one's doing anything about it. So I started with these feelings, and then I went to the first time I went to something was on the Women's March of this year, and it was one of the best days of my life. It was so fun to be there and to march with all these women who, are standing for the same things as you, and you feel so safe in that environment. Like, it's really nice being there. You all have each other's back at that moment, so it's really cool.
Yes. Okay, I really like that. So, if you don't have anything else to add,
I guess that would be all.
Okay, so thank you for agreeing to do this. You've answered all my questions like very thorough, very well. So thank you.
Thank you for doing interviews about this subject.
Oh yes, of course. I love it.